Hello everyone, my name is Preksha Jain and in this portfolio I am going to explain about the project of luxury service apartment hotel undertaken in the Studio One under the subject of construction project formulation and appraisal. The topics covered in this portfolio are environmental impact assessment, procurement strategy, risk management and stakeholder management. First of all, let me introduce you all to the project. The project studied here is Surat's first well-planned luxury hotel-based service apartments. Project objective is to cater the distant professionals, NRIs and business travelers with more space at effective cost for longer stays. The scope of the project is to build 288 apartments with IGBC LEED Gold rating. The project will consist of two-level basement parking and various amenities on ground, first and second floor. Third to 11th floors will be dedicated to 1 and 2 BHK full furnished apartments and a terrace with sky deck providing a magnificent view of the city. The approximate cost of the project is 207 crores and the timeline is project starts from January 2015 and expected to be completed by June 2021. Environmental impact assessment. It is a process to predict positive and negative consequences of the project on environment and human health. The environmental impact assessment value is calculated by multiplying relative importance value of the parameter with its positive and negative degree of impact. For the project, three broad parameters, namely ecology, physicochemical, and human interest, are classified in pre-construction, construction stage, and operation stage. In pre-construction and construction phase, the total environmental impact value is equals to -43. Mitigation measures for the factors having negative impacts are given here. In operation phase, the total environmental impact value is +7. The environmental impact value for the overall project comes out to be -36, indicating a significantly negative impact of the project on environment. Mitigation measures are suggested here to reduce the adverse impact of these factors on environment. Procurement strategy. It is a process to select the best modality for the project to reduce future risk. For this, the procedure followed is 8 variables that may affect the project modality are identified. They are legal framework, political risk, fiscal space, economic factors, institutional capacity, willingness to pay, tariff sustainability, and size and location. For this project, private modality is the only applicable modality. For each variable, impact is analyzed on the modality by conducting surveys and referring research papers, and thus inferred that private modality for this project is feasible for the client and he may consider management contract in operation phase. Risk management. It is the process of identifying, analyzing, planning, controlling, and monitoring the risks throughout the project life cycle. For this project, in risk identification, 98 risks have been identified falling under 17 risk categories. Maximum number of risks are identified in legal risk category followed by financial and management risk categories. It is also seen that maximum risks occur in implementation phase when the construction of the project is ongoing. Identified risk can be both opportunity or threat to the project, while the severity is calculated by multiplying its probability of occurrence with the impact of the risk. For example, here demand risk having maximum severity of threat and opportunity is shown in detail. The severity of each risk is plotted on the severity matrix of threat and opportunity. Similarly, when all the risks are plotted in the severity matrix of threat and opportunity, maximum number of threats fall under medium to high impact and low probability scales, while the opportunities fall under the medium impact and probability scales. Risk response planning. Risk identified as threats has response to accept, avoid, transfer, and mitigate, while risk having opportunity has response to accept, share, enhance, and exploit. The response for the maximum number of threats is to mitigate, while the response for opportunity is to accept. The owner for the maximum number of risks is the client. Here, the client includes the project management team as well. Stakeholder management. Project stakeholders are people, groups, or organizations that are directly or indirectly affected by the project. Here, such 52 stakeholders under 12 groups are identified and enlisted. After identification, these 52 stakeholders are grouped in categories like manage closely, keep satisfied, keep informed, and monitored based on their power, impact, and influence on the project. Here, power is in terms of level of authority, impact is in terms of interest in the project, and influence is active involvement in the project. From the matrix, it is inferred that board of director, project manager, shareholder, lender, principal architect, and civil work contractor are decision makers and have the biggest impact on the project life cycle. CMO, legal advisor, facility manager have high interest but low involvement on the success of the project. General manager, vendors, and statutory bodies have less involvement and interest in project success. MEP, structure, and facade designers and contractors have high involvement but less impact and power over the project success. The Department of Tourism and SMC have high power but less involvement in the project. In order to know the feasibility of the project, four analyses are studied here, and learnings from environmental impact assessment is during construction phase the project has a high negative impact on all the parameters, while in the operation phase the value is positive due to adoption of mitigation measures. Overall, the project has negative impact on the environment and needs to be mitigated as per the measures suggested. From procurement strategy is the client can undertake fully private modality for the project. This modality is moderate in most variables and highly favorable in size and location. The client with owner-operator model may face difficulties in later stage and may adopt a management contract for the operation of the hotel. Risk analysis is 98 risks in 17 categories are identified. The opportunities of the project are need to be enhanced to increase the revenues of the hotel, while the threats of the project are need to be mitigated or avoided at the earliest to reduce its adverse impacts. The demand risk is the most critical risk in terms of both opportunity and threat due to frequent economic fluctuations. Client is the main stakeholder responsible for responding to the risk and preparing for them in advance. From stakeholder management is 52 stakeholders falling under 12 groups are identified. Client, principal architect, civil works contractor have the most influence, impact and power, while customers and competitors have the least interest and power over the project. The stakeholders are categorized on their current and desired level of engagement in the project life cycle, and management is done to ensure no hurdle arises in the project completion.